Oh my God, your poor dad.
Welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for joining us and being the fourth Brant sister.
Welcome back, bitches.
Yeah,
bitches. Yeah, bitch.
Quick question.
What?
Am I the only one that's in a good mood, or are you
I'm
also?
I'm not in a bad mood.
I don't think Bailey's in a bad
So
mood.
it's just you,
Yeah.
or you're in like a.
I'm like
maybe
depressed.
not bad, but you're just
My-
like depressed.
Yeah.
It's melancholy.
I'm depresso.
Sorry.
I know, but we're going to turn it around.
Sorry.
It's just so weird. Like, I feel like my mood is always so stable. And then, like, I have this one ovary. I don't know if you guys have this, but I have like a good ovary and a bad ovary. And my periods are so different. They alternate. Like, I'll have like a normal one where it's just like I get the normal cramps, the normal like emotions. But like this one, it's always late and it comes on like a
Hurricane.
No, what's the one where it's like the water pulls a tsunami, where it's like the water slowly pulls back and then it just
And then you
comes
just
and
know you're
crashes. Yeah, so it's like I'm slowly like devoid of emotion.
And then you're just like bracing for the impact.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? I've cried like 3 times today, and I can just feel like slow little cramps, and then it'll be like a bad cramp situation, and then I'll just have like a terrible period. But the thing that worries me about that is like, we drop eggs from each ovary. So it's like that ovary is the
should
devil.
you ever choose to bear a child,
Ovary.
you're
that
gonna
would
get
be.
a tiger.
I know.
You just have to like calendar method.
Well, I don't know really which one it's coming from. So
Well,
I
you-
just don't know.
Play the lottery. I don't know.
Wow, that sucks. I wonder. I haven't paid attention, but I wonder if one of my ovaries is my migraine ovary.
Maybe.
You should track that.
Well,
and see.
also, like I posted about it once on TikTok and never post anything medical on TikTok because people are like diagnosing me. They're like, oh, you probably have a cyst. It's probably going to turn into cancer. Maybe you have PCOS.
I'm surprised you're still
You have
alive.
3 months to
Oh,
live.
my mom had that and she actually
And she's dead now.
Yeah, my mom had that. She's dead now. Actually, that's probably your twin that you absorbed in the womb.
Oh my God.
Like, weird things like that.
Yeah.
Or they're like ectopic pregnancy. Like they'll just make you think crazy
Or they're
things.
like, suck it up. Rub some
No
dirt
one
in
says
it.
that. Everyone says like they diagnose
If you wanted that energy, you could have gone to WebMD. It's not that you're looking for answers.
Yeah, it's
you're
like-
just
it's more of like a
reporting on
comment.
your body. This is what's happening inside my own body right now. And
Reporting
everyone's like,
live.
actually, you're wrong.
Reporting
Let me
live
tell
from
you
my
why you're
own
wrong about your
uterus.
body.
Well, I still own it, and before the state of Texas takes it away from me.
I've already cried twice today. Give me a chance. Give me a chance to be in a good mood.
Why have you guys cried today?
Well, I was like, so I being like, in this content creator space now, the more I'm like moving towards doing it full time, it's like really hard because it's really unstable and like you'll put something out there that you really like and then no one sees it and then you're just like in your head and you're like, wow, I should probably get a real job. I'm gonna have to like be a bartender. That's like what I always think about. Not that there's anything wrong with being a bartender, but like I've
you're
already
literally
done
never-
that
Well, and you have, this is
when I was worked at the golf course.
this is an exciting like milestone that you've currently gotten to, and it would suck to have to like go back.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm lucky that I have so many things to fall back on, but I've also already done that part of my life where I've like fallen back on those things. So I don't want to do it again. And, but then I got this like sign because I got a deal from a company that Gigi really loved. And then I just was like crying about that because I was like writing this, like the concept over to the brand, and I was crying about that. And I was just crying about like, wow, what am I doing with my life? Like, you're so stupid. You think you can be a content creator? It's just like stuff like that you just go through. But it's like, it's mainly good. But then I think it's just normal self-doubt.
Well, and mainly on top of you're about to
Also,
start your period.
Yeah, and I'm so
it's like
hormonal.
for me at least, like the week before my period, it's like I'm disgusting, I'm fat, I'm a loser.
Oh,
like,
and
what's-
I'm fat. Like literally,
it's
that's like the
there's
main.
and it's like I can't even look at myself in the mirror. Like what? Like I am not worthy.
Oh, yeah.
And then I start my period. I'm like my God, guys, what's up?
I know, it's like, but literally this weekend I had the best weekend ever, and it's just like, it's so
Hormones.
yeah, hormones are so wild. And I don't know if anyone like talking about this stuff, I don't know if it makes people feel better or if it makes them more anxious, and I don't want to make anyone feel anxious, because when I'm in an anxious spot, like I'm looking for content to like lift me up. And
Well, what's comforting to me is that
you're not alone.
well, you're not alone. And I don't know about you guys, but I very regularly go to the doctor, get all of my like things checked out, right? To where if something was wrong, like my hormones are normal, I'm at like a normal level of all of the things. So I'm comforted in knowing it's just the cycle. It's just how it goes. And I know that it's going to be weird for a minute, and then I'm going to pop back.
Yeah, no, like it's not forever, but it does just like you have to deal with it. It's like when you
still have to live.
I know, that's like the hard part.
Every day goes on.
I know, I'm like trying to get stuff done today, and I was like, my brain's not working. Like I was on a call and I was just like, the thoughts were like almost touching, and then just like went away, and I was like, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, and you're like, I just want to go to bed, but the other person's like, we're in a meeting.
I know, and I'm like, I have so much to do. But like the bed, I didn't sleep very well last night, and that like it's on top, compounding interest,
Compound interest.
Yeah. What else did I cry about? We can get into the things I've seen on TikTok today. I've been chronically online today, which is terrible.
Okay, well, one of the things that I cried about today was, well, both of them are from podcasts. The first one, I'm like listening to a podcast about the Lorena Bobbitt, and I've just been crying about that. And then also about Micah Miller. One of the podcasts I really like called Sinisterhood. One of them is a lawyer, and the other one is just like really funny and smart.
Micah Miller.
And they're
Micah.
breaking down the whole thing, even though it just happened. They're breaking down everything, going back into the past, saying how this guy JP,
okay, but
like certainly killed that other guy.
But did he certainly kill her? Allegedly.
So I just finished part 1, but the thing that really made me cry, and this is like really dark, so I'll just like say it really briefly, but even in like a sermon that he said, because he went through her phone for the past 2 years, he read all of her messages and said 18 people in this congregation reached out to my wife saying, do you need help? Do you need to talk? I'm there for you if you want to support. And that's the devil talking. That's a demon. Women shouldn't talk to each other. Women shouldn't support each other. You need to turn to your pastor, turn to Jesus. Like that's, and it just like made me feel so sad, because Micah had sisters, and her sisters they had a weekly standing lunch appointment that they would go to, and he would just show up, and it would just made me feel so sad how isolated she was.
I'd cry too.
I guess I wasn't very brief about it, but
Yeah, you really went in.
it was really sad. I was at Target.
We need
like
to
flipping through
flip
clothes,
out.
crying.
Like this is the beginning of the podcast. I think we need to like.
I know, but the
flip
thing
this.
is like, guys, sometimes there's 3 of us.
It's
Some of
not
us are gonna
always
have
rainbows and butterflies. It's compromise and moves us along. Are you surprised I know the
Exactly.
words?
Do you?
Did you guys see that TikTok I sent you that said that one of the traits of ADHD is not knowing the
Yes.
words to things? And that's so me. Like I know the sounds that the words make, but when I hear a song, like I cannot tell you the words. Like even Cruel Summer, I will mess up the words to. And that's like been my
Really?
number 1 song for like 2 years in a row.
Well,
Karma.
I would just assume, but Cruel Summer, I would just assume by like osmosis, it's either always playing from you, from me, from the radio. It's like the lyrics would just like seep into your
But
little
it's like I
veins.
know the sounds of the words, but like I don't know the words, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like all
The melody.
Like,
no, but
if
it's like
you were gonna sing the
like that's how I hear
the melody.
words.
That's not the sound.
No, that's
Hannah is not fever.
Let me
try to get it with
Or like also the new Sabrina Carpenter song where it's like
well, that's different.
No.
it's hard to understand her words.
no the one that's going viral. That's like
Please.
I beg you don't embarrass me, motherfucker. See, I don't know the words, but like I've seen it a million times because I've been online for like 5 hours today.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
Paige, have you cried today?
I haven't cried today, and honestly, I've had
Not yet. We're gonna keep trying. We'll bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If anyone
I've
can
had-
make you cry, no, it's me.
I've had a great day because let's talk about the small wins. I've had so many hardships with my dogs lately. It's almost like every day the vet's like, "Hey, another lab result came in, and like Tiger has this infection. Roman
Only
has this
4%
infection."
of Frenchies have it. And guess what? Both of yours
Yeah,
have it.
Tiger's
and so
experiencing an ectopic pregnancy.
she's kidding, but there have been so many
PCOS.
issues, and it's like, oh, give this one this pill
Endometriosis.
every 24 hours, this one every 12, blah blah, whatever.
Tiger's
Anyways,
IUD got stuck in his uterus. Your male dog actually has a uterus.
honestly,
And it's
somehow I
stilted.
should like make money from that.
I know. His cervix is infected.
Anyways, my win is that they both ate food today because they have to eat with their antibiotics. And one of them, Roman, doesn't like to eat his food for breakfast and dinner. They both ate their breakfast. They both took their pills. And they both ate dinner and they both took their pills. And I couldn't be happier. And like Tiger's really... I guess their infections were like more internal, except for Tiger. He had this like weird skin thing, and that's like almost cleared up. Like today, I was putting his little ointment on, and it's like a normal dog. So
Okay.
I am so happy.
Also, about your dogs and why you should be so happy and so proud of yourself is since Roman gets his little injections, we got it in our heads that I was really good at doing it until last night. I went to go grab his little scruff and stick his little needle in, and he yelped so loud. He was so scared, and then I was so scared, so I pulled the needle out, didn't do it. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm done. I can never do that again. I probably severed his spinal cord. I injected it into his lung. He has minutes left to live. So,
But that
this is
stress
it.
You weren't giving him an epidural.
That just stressed me out because I was like, I didn't want
I
to do it.
accidentally severed his
gave
spinal
him
cord.
an
Yeah,
epidural
yeah,
He was
for
fine.
his ectopic pregnancy.
yes.
He was fine, and I ended up having to give him the shot, which I hated because needles make me woozy.
I just feel
And
like
he
if
was
this
great.
podcast tells you anything, if you're a longtime listener, like
Don't you
really
dare start a crusade against Frenchies.
No, I just think like you really need to know these kind of things. Like normal dogs do not have this issue. This is a GMO dog issue. We
Yeah.
have bred Frenchies within an inch of their wolf DNA, and now like they're not
And-
even eating food.
Well, and the reason I do this is because I'm so obsessed with them. Like, I want them to be as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
But maybe if I knew what I know now, maybe I would have one. I wouldn't have two.
No, fuck no. Okay, let's talk about like the most annoying dog breeds from like the top 5 most annoying dog breeds. I'll tell you the
there's-
number 1.
Well, you're gonna say
Different.
Frenchies.
no,
There's different kinds of annoying.
Yeah,
too.
no. I'll just do overarching annoying.
Well, you have a different take because you see all these dogs at the dog park.
I
and
know.
Dog park annoying is different than.
I think that it's all one and the same. Like going over to somebody's house. I think number 1, huskies are the most annoying dogs.
Yeah.
Do you
of
remember
all time.
our family friend growing up? They had 2 huskies that we
Hobo
like
and Lobo?
weren't like we
weren't allowed to go out there
We weren't
because
allowed
they
to
were
really
dangerous.
like. We weren't allowed to look at them. It was like
No, we couldn't go outside without an adult there because their dogs were so mean. Then you go to the dog park. Anytime I see a husky coming up, they're so like, they have antisocial behavior. Like they don't pick up on other dog clues. They're very bullies. Number 2, most annoying, German Shepherds.
Oh.
What do you mean? What do you know a German Shepherd?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
was it
used to.
annoying? Who did they die?
I don't know.
Probably.
I hope they're still with us.
Okay.
Okay.
But they're kind of, are like huskies in a different font. Like they're like a bold husky.
I think they're hit or miss, depending on like their training. Poison.
My personal experience, like Hank is like a very easy dog to bring to the dog park. He's like, he has boundaries and he will assert his boundaries, but he also like is very amicable with dogs.
Okay, what's
So,
your number 3?
Number 3 is probably Doodles.
Okay, what's
to be
number 4?
honest. Frenchies.
What's number 5?
Oh.
Probably just like a generic small dog, like a nondescript, like annoying small dog that's mixed with a Chihuahua.
I respect your opinions. I just also think that you hate every dog that's not Hank.
No.
Well, okay.
Actually, that's so opposite because I'm like the biggest dog lover here.
Who else do you love?
I love lots of dogs.
Name one.
Name them.
I like Rhiannon and Zach's dog, Mike.
Okay,
but
I
he's
like Lisa
also
and
a
AJ's
human.
dog, Dale.
What kind of dogs are those?
Have you met Dale?
Doodles.
And you just said you don't like doodles.
But generically,
So you're a fucking liar.
no,
I didn't say that. She did.
I was generally, doodles are so annoying, and it's hard because all my best friends have doodles. Shayna's dog is a pit bull, and she's sweet. Actually, pit bulls. I love pit bulls. They're so cuddly and so sweet.
All the pit bulls I've met have been very good dogs.
Jack Russell Terriers. That's like a top 5.
A good one.
Dog.
Yeah.
To bring to
annoying.
dog parks, they're so aggressive.
What's that one look like?
They're like wishbone.
Isn't that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who's Wishbone? Anyway.
It's a 90s thing. You wouldn't understand. You were
barely
there.
Anyways,
So yeah. Let me know if you want any more opinions of dogs. I actually
Jade
know a
knows
lot about dogs.
Every single thing about dogs.
and also if you have any questions about maybe your Frenchie, I have a lot of answers now. Basically, I'm a vet tech. So.
One of my friends has 2 Frenchies. She just got a second Frenchie, and her one Frenchie attacked her other Frenchie so bad that her dog is in the hospital, or went to the hospital. Its ear completely flopped down. They had to put a stent in the ear. And now the dogs, anytime the dogs are together, the one attacks the other one. So now she has baby gates everywhere. The dogs can't be in the same room. She's like, I don't even know how much longer I could do this.
yeah, like what do you do?
Like both dogs need to be able
I don't
to,
know
like,
what I would do if they weren't obsessed with each other. I don't know what I would do.
but they're also like so mean to each other.
But like
they're really not.
They have playful, explosive moments where they're really, really annoying, and they really, really love to play
Really
fight on
rough.
top of me or Paige or something, and it's very aggressive and
but they're animals.
yeah,
Right. That's the thing that we need to understand is
They're
that they're
animals.
Speaking of animals, do you guys know who Megan King Edmonds is?
No,
Wait, from Housewives?
Yeah. How do you know that? You like don't watch Housewives?
Because is she from Orange County or Beverly Hills?
OC.
OC.
why are you mad at her for knowing that?
No, I'm just shocked.
Was she married
To Jim Edmonds. So anyways, she posted herself on her Instagram story where she had a bird's nest full of bird eggs, and she put them on the ground, and she was like, I don't want this bird nest here. I hope an animal gets this. Isn't that psychotic? That's
Okay.
like sociopathic behavior.
I think it would be more psychotic to like slam the eggs down.
Bailey,
no, it's-
obviously
no.
that's more psychotic.
But I mean, at least another animal's gonna eat it.
No.
But that's not nature. That's like she's literally interfering with God.
And it's weird that she posted about it.
Well, yeah.
Like
Why can't I'm so weirded out that Bailey is like trying to justify this.
I'm too.
I know. It's
Not
like honestly
trying-
so weird.
Okay, I would rather die than have. If there was a nest of birds in my yard and now there's going to be a protective mother bird for these like little birdlings in there, I would hate that in my yard.
You'd rather
get that.
die.
I would rather die.
I understand that. I just
Don't pretend like we don't all do like pest control. I think that it's really, really weird to post about it.
No, I think it's so weird to like put it on the ground for an animal to eat it. That's so weird.
wait, a couple thoughts. Pest control, is that for birds too?
Well, like I'm
and
thinking like
mice.
exterminators and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's different. The mice is in the house.
Well, I think the psychotic aspect comes into her having this thought of like, I don't want this here. I want an animal to get it and be like, and you know what? I'm gonna post about it. Like it's a layered thing, and that layer to me is the why. Like it's the weirdest layer.
Yeah. No, it's all weird. Like it's
Ugh.
weird. That's not the reaction I was hoping to get from you guys. Like Bailey's like, well,
You don't like birds either. I would
I
not
don't
want a
like
bird
birds,
nest
and
in
I
my
would
yard.
never do that. That's so psychotic to think about, like these little chicks in the little baby birds.
I'd wait till they learn to fly, and then they'll shoo shoo.
Their nature, it will run its course.
Okay. Should I remind you guys that I was attacked by a bird walking over to Harkins movie theater in Southlake to give my...
I've been attacked by a bird too because of the nest.
Okay, would you want to walk by that, to leave my house every time you come here to record? What if we had a little bird nest right there and the little mom attacked you every day?
You don't know that's going to be the thing.
Anyways,
Well, now she won't have to know it either.
well, okay, I want to stop talking about this. If
Okay.
you guys do. In some lighter news, guys, if you remember this podcast, you know, it's called Your Poor Dad. We started it talking about our dad. I think our first episode was talking about the Bears and our dad's love of the Bears. Guess what? Your Poor Dad is going to Soldier Field finally. We have tickets to go.
And we bought the tickets.
Yeah, we bought the tickets.
No thanks to you, Chicago Bears or
You
NFL.
you still have a chance to make
No.
Yeah, no, I'll let you.
Honestly,
to
you
make
don't.
his dreams come true. But I'm really excited because we're going to the game, I believe, against the Patriots.
I know.
And I think we, as a family trip, like that's the kind of family trip I want to take.
You don't want to go to Paris.
I don't want to go to Paris. I'm totally fine not going to Paris again. But like I am
I
so
also-
excited to go to
Can we talk about
Chicago.
this after? But like Dublin for the next family trip? Like,
That was my idea.
oh,
I really want to go to Ireland.
okay.
You don't have to go. Honestly, I could go. We can do a different trip together.
Let's talk about this offline.
Okay.
Anyways,
I
I also
we're gonna go to Chicago.
yeah, I think that's some great news.
It's amazing news.
I've never been really. I've really only driven through Chicago to get to the airport, which doesn't really count.
No.
So I'm pumped.
I would love to go. Well, I'm excited to go. That's it.
That's it, period. No, I love Chicago so much. I'm so excited.
I'm scared because it's going to be cold.
It's not gonna be that cold.
I don't like the cold.
Dad is like being really dramatic about the weather. It's really not going to be that cold. Me and Mr. Roberts were we were there in December and it was like not that bad. Mr. Roberts was wearing a sweatshirt.
Okay. And also, Dad's not the one that's making me scared. Geography is making me scared.
Oh, because it's like north.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's going to be fine because global warming's happening. So it's like getting
God.
warmer.
Gotta
and
remember
warmer
that.
and
Yeah.
warmer. So it'll be
Finally.
fine.
It's like
yeah.
we're all getting a little more tan.
I know. I'm completely burnt right now.
Do you feel
look-
better?
You look a
Do you
little
want me
less.
to show everyone?
Well,
Yeah.
like your little arm looks a little less red,
I know.
but it's tan.
Wait, another thing we should talk about is allegedly there's some crazy shit going on TikTok today with Amber Portwood from Teen Mom. She actually just like re-entered my orbit because this clip was going viral of her on Leah's birthday, which is crazy. Leah's so old, and
I
it's
know.
like I remember watching her
Will you like walk me through it? Because I only know the highlights of
the
what's
drama
happening.
of what's
Yeah.
going on. Okay, so apparently she's in North Carolina, or allegedly she's in North Carolina for a wedding.
Okay.
And her boyfriend allegedly got into some sort of altercation. She says it wasn't an altercation. I think other people are calling it an altercation she doesn't have the best track record for us to believe that it wasn't an altercation, and her boyfriend is missing. But the thing that's weird is that his belongings are not with him, and that's not a good sign. And then she called into this I don't know if it was like an Instagram live or something like that, or like a live podcast, but it seemed like some sort of fan thing, but it's not even like a big publication. Like it seemed smaller. And she was saying, you guys, I don't want you focusing on the fact that we were like in a fight that wasn't real. I want you to just focus on finding him, like basically trying to like divert the attention. And she was producing a lot of facts that like the girl wasn't asking. Like the girl wasn't even talking. Like Amber was just like saying things. And people in the comments were like, Dr. Phil said that when people start answering questions that weren't asked, that's
Yeah.
when you really have to worry about things.
And
Well,
everyone knows that Dr. Phil knows.
I love Dr. Phil.
But the other
Very
thing
wise.
that
He's from Texas.
I'm not sure the exact timeline, but he was spotted at like a Walgreens or something like that. There was like CCTV like footage of him at a location. And so,
Yeah, but they don't know where he went after.
right. But it seemed like before
Well,
she kind
she
of started
kept-
talking, it seemed like he had left the house maybe because of this argument allegedly, and then went somewhere else, which would be a good thing for her, right? Because he would have been seen somewhere.
But she keeps saying
She
he
keeps-
doesn't know how to drive on the mountain.
yeah, she's really trying to. She's
She's trying to
enforcing
craft
this
a story.
Yes, she's
That's
enforcing
the
the
thing,
story.
and it's like we don't know if he went to Walgreens, and she knows.
we
he
don't know
went-
if he's never been here before.
Well, that's
That's a provable lie. I mean, she's probably not
Yeah,
smart
that is a
enough to-
provable lie. But like the thing is, like,
God.
she knows that he went to Walgreens, but we don't know if that was before or after the fight. Like, he could have came back and then the fight happened.
Totally.
And she was like, oh, the last time I saw him was at Walgreens. There's just nothing to prove what's going on. And the worst thing she could do right now is like start talking about like what happened before he went missing in ways that like don't really matter. It's not like, okay, this is where he was. This is where I know, you know what I mean? Like, she's more talking about
Well, and it's
her
like
emotional state before he left.
yeah, and if again, I've never been in this
Allegedly.
situation, and this is all alleged, but if it were me and I was worried because my partner was missing, it's like, okay, we got in this fight, which is why he left, and now I'm really worried because I haven't seen him. So like, this is what he was wearing, and
But she's trying to like calm down the fight part of it.
I know. Well,
which
did you
is
see
crazy.
that Caitlyn from Teen Mom, she called to something too, and which is honestly, it's so shocking to me because I feel like, I don't know. I guess I don't know Caitlyn very well, but whatever.
I know them very well.
I don't know anybody very well or on Teen Mom, but she called in. She's like, I would never normally call in, but I just really want to set the record straight that I know everyone has these, thoughts about Amber, and she handles things differently. However, I know her really well. She would never take anything like this far. So like, don't be talking about that. Like, let's focus on finding him, kind of thing.
Yeah, but also
It's just, like,
Caitlyn
that's
is
weird.
a child of like two addicts, and like I feel
But
like
she's doing her best.
No, I know, but I think that she's like very empathetic to people with like
I think so
problems.
too. You're
And
right.
I think that she's probably like, no, Caitlyn and Tyler, like
Amber says, I didn't do it. Caitlyn's like, she didn't do it.
well, I think she's just trying to get everyone focused off of, I think she's trying to help Amber.
I do too.
But I think Caitlyn and Tyler, the odds that have been stacked against them and the things that they have overcome are
Mainly,
wild.
well, not mainly, but the thing that is really hard for me to get over is that their parents got together after
No,
they
that
were
is
dating.
so crazy.
That's
Butch.
wild.
Butch is not.
It's just like you bring your boyfriend home. You guys are dating for a while. Eventually,
you're two toxic
Eventually, the
parents.
parents meet and they're like love at first sight. Let's go get hitched.
It's like let's go do drugs together and be super toxic together.
It's just wild. Anyway, speaking of wild, or do you have more to say about Amber? I hope he's found.
I obviously hope he's found.
But it's been
Amber's-
3 days.
It's so
I
sad.
didn't know it'd been
fucked
that it'd been that long.
I didn't know it'd been that long.
That's
either.
really
That's
sad and
really
scary.
scary. Like I would be so fucking.
I also
scared.
hope I don't know. I hope he's fine, and I hope she didn't do it because then it's going to be
Obviously.
about her, and I don't know if it's
About
like,
her instead of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's going to be very sensational, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
sensational.
Yeah.
Speaking of sensational, word on the street is Matty Healy's engaged, which I think is crazy. You guys don't seem to think that's
I
wild.
don't think it's that crazy
Feels
because
kind of
but
par for
the
the
Charlie
course.
XCX of it all is crazy.
what is that?
So she is either married or engaged to the drummer of 1975. Okay.
Okay.
Charlie XCX opened for Taylor Swift, okay, on one of her tours. And I think it was either 1989 or Reputation. And so you would think they would have some kind of friendship, whatever. She came out with a song, allegedly, but about Taylor Swift. And it was like, I can't wait for you to break up with her. I don't want to see her at my boyfriend's shows. Which is like, why? I need to know what happened there. This seems
Paige,
interesting.
You have put Taylor Swift on this pedestal
Yes,
that she
I
can
have.
never do anything wrong. And if you
Totally.
think that she has not had a falling out with one of her friends and it was her
For
fault,
sure. This is so public. Aren't you intrigued?
yeah, but she's had other public fallouts with people. Katy Perry.
Also, this isn't that this is not as public.
And it's, I'm sorry, it's
She's
Charlie
putting it-
XCX.
She's putting it in a song, and
Taylor puts everything in songs.
But Charlie XCX, she's the one who put this girl like in the circle of 1975. So that's how Matty Healy and her started dating. It's like one of her friends, which is like fine, that's great. You like keep the friends together. It's just a little interesting. We all have been listening to the Torture Poets Department, where Taylor, we know she wants to get
I'm
married.
honest. we all have not been listening to it.
Okay, well, we know Taylor wants to get married, and she really,
have.
she loved Matty Healy, and you know they talked about marriage, and it just sucks because then they break up. They've been dating since September. It hasn't even been a year.
But also when you're
I don't think Taylor's as affected as
I
you
know.
are.
I think that you like this is the part of the toxic fandom that I feel like you can't look at her through the lens. Like if you look at
Are you telling me?
Wait,
Okay.
you can't. Anyone who looks at Taylor Swift through the lens of she is a human being and she is flawed, the Swifties think that you're anti-Taylor. Like, and so me just like pointing out things like, oh wow, Taylor maybe had a falling out with a friend. It like has to turn into some lore.
Okay, take away Taylor Swift of it all. If I'm telling you that I was dating a guy and we talked about marriage and I was really into him, we have a bad breakup, and then less than a year later he's already engaged, aka what did we call him? Peter, aka Peter. Like that, and that wasn't even as toxic as this. Like that sucks.
No, it does suck.
So it's
but
like, so what I'm saying is like,
I just don't think it's crazy. Like it's been a year and she's in such
less than a year.
I know, but she's in such a huge public relationship right now.
And
I know.
I think she's in a but I don't think we need to feel feelings that we don't know if she's feeling.
Yeah.
She might not
Okay,
care.
you guys
I
are
also think-
so annoying. If I was talking about myself or a friend, you guys would be like, "Oh my gosh, like that sucks."
No,
like,
it does suck,
That's,
but
like that
also-
sucks. So you're like, she's not affected. Why? Like, why
No,
are you
because
talking
we
about
don't
it?
know
No.
she's affected, and she's already
It's-
publicly been dating
Wait,
someone
but
for longer.
let me put, if we're going to talk about it
Okay.
as a friend's terms,
Okay.
let's say it was you and Peter, and
Okay.
now you are like, oh my gosh, fireworks, everyone's obsessed with you guys. Your careers have never been better. You're never making more money. Like your life has improved exponentially. I'd be like, LOL, this situationship you were in just got engaged. Like I wouldn't be like, oh
Yeah.
my God, are you okay?
Okay, you're telling. What I would feel is, wow, why wasn't I good enough to be the girl that got engaged? And like, what does she have that I don't have?
Paige,
That is such a real emotion and a real
no,
thought
it's
to
a
have.
real emotion if you're like not so fucking happy.
No, you can be both. Like you can still be happy, and then you can be like, oh, but like also like I did have such real strong feelings for this person, and like what was different? I thought that we were there, and like clearly he wasn't. That's why we broke up. I am in a better place, but like also, what was that? You know,
I would be like, okay, I will use Colorado as an example because he's more similar to a Matty Healy than anyone that we've ever been with. But it's like if I'm with Mr. Roberts and I hear that Colorado gets engaged, I'd be like, oh, well, that's what worked for him. Like, because I'm so happy and I like found my person that I really connect with, I would be like, oh, this is why it all worked
and
out the way it
also
did.
3-4 years later.
No, but 1 year later, if I met Mr. Roberts, like, it doesn't matter because like Mr. Roberts is like my person. We're so happy together. Like everything that has happened up until now has made sense in my life, which I feel like that's probably how Taylor's feeling because she's like, that's what she's saying in her songs. The alchemy, all these things, the prophecy.
It
what is it?
truly is a pot for every lid, and so that's really
Well,
Or a lid for every pot.
she also
Or a lid for
has
every pot.
has sang songs like this before, like on Reputation about Joe. Like she's had this feeling, and I do think that it feels different this time than it did
Yeah.
before.
I'm just saying, like, I think when you're really, really happy with somebody and you're like, I think that the engagement of someone else, like,
Yeah, you
different.
maybe aren't gonna like in an interview be like, yeah, that really hurt me. Like you're not gonna admit it, but like to your friends, you're gonna be like, that was fucking weird, right? Like, isn't that crazy?
Well, it is crazy because she's been out on the town, like, and we haven't really seen her in paparazzi pics. Like, there's a difference between her and Travis in like Como paparazzi pics where that was like long lens, like they weren't trying to be paparazzied. But she went out in London last night with Esty Haim, Stella McCartney. There was a guy there too. I forget who it was. But anyway, she like went out with her girls. And whenever she does that, it's planned. She's doing it for the paparazzi. She was wearing Gucci. That's like her Reputation designer. She was wearing red heels. I'm not saying that she's probably not feeling some type of way, but I feel like she's so happy. She's literally on top of the world right now.
Well, and I also think that it's just like throwing. Here's the thing. I think she is really happy. I think that the day that we're recording this is the 12th, on Wednesday. I think something's going to happen on the 13th.
Right.
When we post this on Monday, if nothing happens, then I'm a clown and I'm just like saying it out loud now. But it's like, oh, this big thing is probably going to happen in Taylor's life. And like, let's have this loser like come throw a wrench and like just randomly propose and like be in the headlines the day before. I'm just saying he's annoying, and I think
no one is denying that Matty Healy is annoying, but like if I'm Taylor Swift and I look like Taylor Swift and I'm like, I am who I am, and then I see who he got engaged to, I'd be like, okay, that is why it didn't work out with me, because like we're so opposite. Like that's more his vibe, and like maybe I don't know.
I don't know who this like healed person you are. Like you literally wouldn't, if this was you in a breakup, like you would never, like she would never.
They're not in a breakup anymore.
Right,
they broke up.
But you're telling me less than a year after Jade's Colorado thing, like it took you a very long time to even consider a real relationship after Colorado, because you were always holding out hope for Colorado.
Right.
So I'm saying less than a year is a little crazy for you to think that she should have no emotion towards it.
We don't know if she does.
I'm saying it's crazy to think that she shouldn't.
No, I'm not saying she shouldn't. I'm just saying
What are you saying?
No, I'm just saying like she probably is like not as affected as you are putting onto her.
I just think it's like, go away.
I think like the thing about Taylor is that like she is the every girl.
Like let her live.
But also
we are letting her live.
And the reason I know Matty Healy's name is because of Taylor. And so the only reason anyone knows him, sorry, I don't even know.
People are going to get really mad at you because they
Really?
love the 1975.
Yeah,
Really?
Bailey only. Like,
I don't listen to music.
Yeah, she doesn't listen to music. She only listens to like 5 artists.
I listen to podcasts that make me cry all day. But like, it's great. I'm sure. Sorry. God, now I don't.
You don't
wanna
have to
get in trouble.
apologize.
No, it's okay.
I listen to music on like you're good.
But now it's just like breathing more into like his fame and the story and the narrative by like getting wrapped up in it. She didn't post anything. She doesn't care. Or at least publicly, she might not care.
I think the thing with Taylor, what I was going to say is that Taylor Swift is the every girl. So she almost is like a mirror to every person who's looking at her, because we all take her songs and we kind of like fit it into the mold of our life. And we kind of are like, oh, well, this song is, she was probably feeling this. And we think that because we felt those emotions at that time. And I feel like that's probably why I'm taking this from this angle and you're taking it at that angle. Because it's just, you know, where we're at.
Maybe. I think we will agree to disagree. I think no matter where I am in my life, if I'm like married with kids, because here's the delusional part of me, I consider Taylor a friend. And it's like, if my friend, it's like, even if she's, because you know, it's like, oh, you know, my ex is dating this girl, we've been broken up for a while, and like she's cute, and it's like, oh my gosh, you kind of want your friend to like say something like, oh my gosh, you were better, but you would never, you don't need that, but you hear it and you're like, I kind of like, that kind of makes me feel good, you know what I mean? It's like, there's like something there where it's like you just want your people to like have your back. Like, this is annoying.
Okay,
that's my feeling.
Okay,
I can appreciate that.
I just feel like I had to fight for my life.
I know. You always feel like you have to fight for your life with Taylor. It's like we don't think I like Taylor a lot.
I know,
all do.
But the thing is, you
like
think of Taylor as a celebrity and I think of her as a friend. And so it's like,
no, that's so true. You do. Like, I look at Taylor and I'm like, oh, wow, this woman is so good at concisely describing a feeling that a lot of us have felt.
Yeah.
And I love that about her. She really makes people feel a lot of emotions, like hence what we've seen on the Eras tour, like people losing their fucking minds. Like, I can't watch an Eras tour
and not
a little kid get the 22 hat. Every time I see that, I cry. Like, seeing the crowd sing a duet with her to Exile, cry. Like, she's so good at that. But I feel like also she is such a marketing genius where she's created this little world with a ton of Easter eggs. And like, I saw this article today saying you almost at this point can't compare Taylor Swift to another artist. She's almost more comparable to like Marvel or like something like that, because she has now crafted this world that is like taken on its own fandom. People are writing like fan fiction about it. Every day a new fucking Easter egg theory comes across my desk. Like she's just like, she's sucked you in.
She's a powerful source.
It's giving QAnon.
Yes.
And you know what? And that
I've said that.
and that is
a
and I'm a proud member.
Oh, we know, honey.
And I'm a proud member. And you know what, sisters? I know a bunch of you guys are too, because you guys DM me all the time.
Okay, but like also we like Taylor Swift and we enjoy
We're not
the lore.
against you.
I know, like
Guys,
let's
not
Paige
fight.
is, no,
Let's not
Paige is
fight.
giving like Trump support.
No, I was gonna say the even
Biden
scarier.
supporter?
No, even scarier. What was the thing? Dancing for Your Lives or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The TikTok cult thing that's on.
Shekinah. The Shekinah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Dancing with the Devil, the TikTok dancer.
with
Did
the
you watch
Devil.
that? Dancing with the Devil. What did I say?
No, I think you're right. I said Dancing for Your Lives.
Dancing for the Devil. That was crazy. But anyways.
Well, so I guess we'll see her 13th. The June 13th is tomorrow. It's her 100th show.
Something. Okay.
She has
that
been
lines up.
That does line
That
up.
matches up.
Yes.
Something crazy is going to
Except-
happen. And if it doesn't, I'll be on here Monday morning with a red nose. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, you won't be Monday morning because this is airing Monday morning.
Yeah.
But it is fun
The
to talk
next
about, like that TikTok I sent you about the designer, Cavalli designer that designed the 1989 outfits that she started the tour in, and then the new ugly ones. He posted 2 of the orange ones, and they are saying that he designed 20 different outfits for the Eras tour, and we've only seen 17, so there's 3 left. And it's like, okay, what is she gonna do to debut and Reputation?
And so tomorrow we're either getting Reputation and Debut re-release or a brand new album, which like I don't think my heart could handle. So
No, she's not doing a new album.
I know, but we just saw this theory and I was like, it could happen.
Or I mean, at the end of the day,
could be
Taylor
the first
is
one. It
a
could be.
businesswoman,
She
so
is.
she's not going to release albums that close together, but she might debut a music video that could give us Easter eggs for the next thing,
Yeah.
because that's what people are saying she did for Speak Now, the I Can See You, which like
That was a good one.
honestly, she gave Speak Now re-release so much more love than she gave 1989, which was like really disappointing.
I think she's like giving love where she knows it needs it, because 1989 already
It,
was
like,
so good, you know.
Didn't
so
need the love.
she wanted to like zhuzh up the Speak Now.
I know, but I feel like it just like was kind of the least exciting re-release. I think Fearless was exciting because it was the first one she put out. Everyone's like listening. They're like, oh my gosh, this is 30-year-old Taylor versus
Well, and everyone was so
Teenager.
nervous to hear the re-release.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to hit the same?
yeah. And then the vault tracks were amazing on Fearless. Then Red re-release. Nothing will be more iconic than that. Like that just hit at the perfect time.
Do you remember how many times all 3 of us would listen to All Too Well 10-minute version
yeah.
on repeat because we were like, we need to learn.
No,
Even
that's
you.
that's a song I actually know the words to.
I know.
I could cry thinking about it.
I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
so good.
And then watching the music videos for I Bet You Think About Me and All Too Well 10-minute version, short story, whatever. And then I love the Red vault tracks. Those are like my favorite ones. Better Man, Babe. I love those. And then Speak Now got such fanfare too because she had Taylor Lautner come out doing like a layout, round off back handspring layout.
True.
And then they did like the music video,
And there was like
Haley Williams feature. There were so many.
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy, yes. And then 1989, it just felt like kind of flat, especially with all of the fan theories. Like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be like a double album
The collabs.
with collabs, which would be so genius. And like people would do that in a fucking second. Imagine like people would pay tons of money to be on a Taylor Swift album. And so I guess it'll just be interesting to see what she does with Reputation. I wonder
Reputation.
Reputation, because there's got to be some theory to like why she has one leg out and one arm out. Like, is she gonna come out in a full snake suit? Is she gonna come out with like the other arm and the other leg out?
She's just gonna be like a snake.
Or it's just like, you know,
She's gonna
naked.
have 4 more arms coming out.
yeah.
Little
And she
spider.
turns into a spider, and then she's like, it's a whole new thing.
And then she's like, Black Widow.
Spiders also like, what is it, molt or whatever, like snakes do, and then you'll really know.
Yeah,
Molt.
sure.
It's like shed their skin. Isn't that the word?
We wouldn't know.
I know that molt means that.
You know that molt means shed your skin.
I picked up on that.
You picked up on it, but you didn't know that.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Look at her. She knows. That's the face of someone who knew.
Also, guys, when you listen to this, it'll be the day after Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, Dad.
Your poor Father's Day.
Your poor father. Do you guys have any stories you want to share about Dad?
Yes. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. So so our dad is the biggest simp for our mom. Like, it's
Yeah,
truly,
he's obsessed.
He's obsessed, and he has absolutely zero loyalty to anyone except for her.
Facts.
So my mom and I used to fight. Like, we had the craziest fights growing up. And there was a fight that was going on when I was in high school, and she was being so frustrating. And it's like, her and I both know exactly how to make the other person infuriated. And so we were like getting into this fight, and then she walks upstairs.
It's just funny because, like, I cannot remember what you were fighting about, but I can see that night so vividly in my head. Like, as you're talking about it, I was there and I'm just replaying it. It's on mute.
Yeah. So her and I get into this fight, and the way our kitchen was set up was that, like, there was a wall where like the kitchen was on one side and the living room was on the other. So I was kind of like in the middle of like the kitchen and the living room wall, and she walks up the stairs, and I am flipping her off to her back because I was just so fucking angry. And instead of like keep fighting,
you're doing it in like a
I'm
and
like
you're kind of like dancing. you're so
I'm going
pissed,
like this. I'm like,
but you're like
yeah, but it's like, it's either that or me get in more trouble by like saying what I really want to say, you know? So like, honestly, to me, I was like, I have
like,
to get
I
this
am
energy
mature.
out. Yeah, like,
I'm
it's
so
either
mature.
I put my fist through a wall, or I scream at you more, or I flip you off behind your back. So what I didn't see is I turned my head, and Dad is on the other side of the wall on the kitchen side. And I was just like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because like, this man has absolutely like no way of keeping a secret. And so he was like, you little brat. And he's like, you're so lucky. I'm not going to tell your mom what you just did. I can't believe how disrespectful you are. I'm like, well, is it really disrespect of like, you didn't know?
Well,
Or
if she didn't know.
Yeah, like if she didn't know. Like, it's like what people think about me is none of my business. That's kind of my mentality. Right. And like, she doesn't need to know that I'm like that mad at her. And like, she actually probably does.
She probably did know in that moment. She's like, she hates me, I hate her.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, phew, like I'm going to dodge another fight. And that's the last thing I need is like another fight with Mom, because we always fought. So then I go to bed, I wake up, and of course, Mom's like classic thing she used to do was just be the most passive aggressive person. And she would like clean, but like loudly. And it would just be like slamming the dishwasher and just like making you know that she is so fucking annoyed with everyone. So I wake up the next morning, and
you like don't want to leave your room.
I don't want to leave my room, but then I like have to. And she's just being so fucking passive aggressive, just like, you know, just mopping, but like loudly. And I'm just like, okay, like if you can talk to me if you want to talk to me. And then so I forget like how it actually came to a head, but she was like, so are we going to talk about what happened last night? And I was like, again, like, what do we need to say? And she goes, no, after I went to bed. And I was like, what? and because thinking dad had my back. And she was like, you flipped me off. And I was like, that motherfucker.
You sold out of a bitch.
So not only did he sell me out, he like ran upstairs.
He said,
Like,
hey, guess what?
he was like, I'm not going to tell you. And then he like ran upstairs. He's like, guess what Jade did?
He's like, I have some steaming hot tea.
Why did he think mom needed to know? Because it
No,
only
exactly.
made her
No,
mad.
no,
only got
no.
you in trouble. There
No,
was
there's
no
literally
positivity
there's
that
no
came from it.
there was nothing good that could come from that, because it's not like, wow, this is something we need to address with her. It was just like, it was only told to her to make her more mad.
Well, here's my
Yeah,
thing.
Dad.
Yeah, dad. Happy Father's Day, dad.
I don't know.
Think about it.
I don't know. Maybe if I have a husband, it's like maybe I want to know all of those
I
things
wouldn't.
too.
I would be like, don't tell me things that make me more riled up.
But here's the thing. What he didn't need to do was tell you, hey, you're lucky. You're lucky that I saw you and that I'm not going to tell her.
Well, in that moment, he was like, you son of a bitch. She could have turned around at any second. Like, anything could have happened.
No,
you're lucky I'm the one that saw it, not your mother.
No, the thing he should have said was like, hey, let's talk about why you are so upset. Let's like talk about like a better way to handle it versus flipping off your mom. And like, let's think of a way to make it better. Instead, he was like, I'm not going to tell her.
You think that you would have wanted to keep talking at that point? You were talked out.
You also want to rewrite our entire history. None of us would have ever said that until 2 years ago.
I know. But I'm just saying like, that's how it should have been handled if like, you know, this was a modern age. We were still
this
in
is
like
the Stone Age.
This was still like the age where it's like mom probably could have beat me with like a spoon or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go get a switch
I think she
outside.
still could in the state of Texas.
Probably.
Why
She's
use a
still your
spoon when
mama.
you can use your hand?
Exactly.
So
So that's my story about that.
happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
What do you got?
Well, I'm actually changing my story.
Okay.
Yeah, it's another car thing. Surprise. So Dad was visiting his poor parents in Illinois. And for some reason, he always comes back with a new truck or something every time because they very generously like give him a new truck. So Dad never has to get a new one. And so Dad is driving in from all the way, like probably 16 hours on the road. He's coming in and we're in the backyard playing games in the pool. It's like, oh my God, Dad's coming home.
But the other thing about his parents in their cars is like they treat them like it's brand new.
Oh yeah.
It's like they treat them like gold.
Yeah. There's probably the seat covers on the whole time. Like this is the perfect truck driving into
It still has like the
driveway for
plastic
first
wrap
time.
on it.
And the way I remember it is, oh my God. We were playing with a Frisbee. And Dad's like, all right, come on, girls. I'm ready to play. Like, this is so great. I'm so glad to be home. And he like goes into the yard and I'm like, all right, Dad, catch. And Dad's like straight ahead. And instead of me throwing it to him, I throw it 90 degrees the other way and it just sails. We all like watch and it goes slow motion and just dings right into the side of his truck that he just drove home in.
And if you listen to last episode, then you know how well our dad takes anything to do with cars.
And to his point, he was just like,
It was
and
like
that was kind of it.
It was like he realized, oh, I left the place where they appreciate cars,
and
and I came back home. I came back home.
Yeah.
And this is my personal hell where these girls don't care about
No,
cars.
because dad and his family, like the way they treat things is like very, like they respect their things, but it's almost to the point where it's like, it stresses everyone else around them out.
Yeah.
Well, only
It
people
did
who
stress
don't.
me out a lot too for Dad to be like, I'm so excited about this new truck. And I was like, me too. So glad you're home, Dad. Let's play a game.
No, if
and then
Hank,
I'm like,
Hank
boom.
even runs around dad's truck, dad's like,
Well, I have a good story about Dad.
okay.
And so my favorite memory of Dad is
One of my favorite. Dad does a lot of good things. That was just a funny one because we just talked about
I
cars.
know, now she's like, you have a little brown on your nose.
Yeah.
You might want to wipe it off.
well, keep in mind, you guys had time to think about these.
What do you mean? So did you?
I know.
Okay, go.
So you could have said whatever you want. Anyways, back when I was really little, we still lived in California, and the reason that I love the song 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20 is because when the album came out. Dad was listening to it a lot in his car. Dad and I are very similar. I realize now. He also likes to listen to a song on repeat until he knows every single word. But at the time, I don't know why I went to work with him one day. I don't know if it was like a school day or a weekend, but I went to work with him. Like, so I was on like a construction site, and I was so excited because what I remember is all the way there, we listened to 3 a.m. all 24/7. Dad's like, you got to learn every word of the song. And I was like, okay. I thought it was like my mission. He also just wanted to learn every word of the song. And then when we were on the job site, I remember like being so happy that I got to sweep up some of the like scraps that were on the floor. And then we got Jack in the Box. And I thought that was even like, it was just leading to the best day. And then when we left, we listened to 3 a.m. all the way back home.
Whoa.
And guess what? I still know all the words to 3 a.m. And it was such a good little bonding day.
You want to know something that's really sweet? How I twisted a memory in my little first grader head to like make it a positive thing about like getting a bonding night with Dad.
What?
I wrote a whole book. This is like the book that I published in first grade. I bet Mom still has it, where it was like, I had my own night with Dad. We played catch. We ate probably macaroni and hot dogs. We did whatever. I loved my night with Dad. You know what happened at the very first page of that book?
What?
My mom and my sisters went to the Dixie Chicks concert. So it was
Oh my
like,
God, we've been leaving you out of concerts your entire life.
I know. But I was like, I had an even better night with Dad. We played catch.
Oh, that's so cute.
That is really cute.
I know.
That's really sweet.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thanks for playing catch with me.
I like that he was like, let's go play catch sport.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you want, macaroni?
What the hell am I supposed to do with this kid? They're at a concert. I think he even got picked up in a limo for that concert.
We did.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to write a book about my best night ever that Paige and Jade left in a limo.
That is so funny. Did you write that the other last year too when we saw Taylor Swift?
I'm still working on getting that published. That's a darker tale.
That's going to be like a whole novel.
Well,
a sequel. It's a series.
Wait, we should
Actually, the ending of this trilogy depends on if we go to
Wait, do you
Indiana.
have a picture of the book?
I bet Mom still has the book.
Because we should like try to find all the times that like Paige and I got to go to things because
I'm
you're
sure
older.
there's pictures of you guys at.
There's like no pictures of you ever.
Well, because she was
know.
never at the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Andy were like the last child. And,
I
like,
know.
it was the 90s.
I have a whole complex about it. That's okay.
That's like younger child teens.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
But
already wrote
there's
two
one way.
books about them seeing Taylor Swift 2 times without me. They saw Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour together twice without me. So you guys decide our fate. Like, are we going to have a happy ending or a sad ending to this?
Well, we're going to Taylor Swift in Indiana.
Yeah.
It was there, I was rare, I remember it all too well. She goes, I have one more song. Do you guys have 10 minutes? And we're like, yes we do. Of course we do. All too well, 10-minute version.
Can you imagine the wreck that we're going to be when Bailey gets to see everything? Because it is the thing that's really exciting is
The
even
intro.
though I've seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's like I'm seeing it again for the first
Okay,
time.
but then
been
it's
a long
gonna
time.
it's gonna give me like performance anxiety for you guys to be like, and now,
No,
and like
So you
looking
have to
over
sit
at
in between
me.
us.
no, because the first
I'm the videographer,
Little
obviously.
baby.
the first concert, I was like almost almost stunned. I was like,
It is an out of body.
I'm gonna be honest. The first time I saw Eras with Paige, it was like her wedding day. It was the most stressful thing ever.
it was really overwhelming for me too. I had so many emotions
I
inside
wish
my body.
I could have seen the lead up to that starting versus
I
the
was
lead up
honestly
to
so
us
pleasant.
getting on our flight
I
internationally.
was so pleasant. I was so
We
pleasant
should compare
compared.
notes.
No,
Paige, you were
compared
pleasant.
to traveling. I was so pleasant.
No, you were pleasant because you weren't yelling at me.
I
But
was
like
let's get Chick-fil-A.
you were like,
I was
Let's
just
get
weird.
Chick-fil-A. No, you were so
I was weird.
Like, she could not talk. I was like,
Jade's like, I'm gonna get you a beer. I was like, I don't want one yet.
yeah. And I was like, no, I think you need one.
And I was like, okay, fine.
You need to take the edge off. Like, she was so nervous. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen?
I was
We
like
already-
weird and quiet too.
yeah. And I was like, it's all
Was she
going to be
doing this a
okay.
lot?
I do that all the
Probably.
time.
But it's like you're very
I
anxious.
know.
Yeah. But it's like when she comes out, like when the clock strikes 0 and then it all fades. I mean, you've seen Eras Tour on
Yeah.
Disney. But then it's like, it's been
I've
a
seen it in
long
theaters.
time. I put it on in the background when I was working, and then I was like, I gotta turn this off. It's like
You
too
can't pay atten-
distracting.
yeah.
Yeah, I was crying. I was like, oh my god. When she comes out, it's been a long time coming, but
I tried to have it in the background when I was doing some work at school with my colleagues, and it was like after school, so I was like allowed to play it. And then I was Paige. I was so annoying. I was like, actually, do you know what this song's about? Because
Oh my
I did
God.
this thing. And then I realized that I couldn't have a conversation with someone if one of her songs was playing, so I had to turn it off.
yeah. But
I wanted them to like me.
this is another public plea to the state of Indiana. Like, we're happy to rep your state. I love your state. Remember when we were on that text with Shayna and she was like being so annoying about it? She was like, you like Indiana? I was like, can you just like get on board with Indiana for like 1 second?
I thought she was on. Well, I guess I didn't read all of the text messages because 1 second I looked at my phone and there was like 47 missed text messages.
Because she was like going off on the politics of Indiana. I was like, okay.
But I thought she was being like very pleasant with what I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, Shayna. Paige was on your side. She listens.
I didn't read the text, and I don't want her to know that I didn't read the text.
Oh, well, now she's going to know.
Sorry, Shayna.
Sorry.
It was also so many text messages.
I know.
I can't read that much.
Do you want to read some stuff?
Well,
Do we have
okay,
anything
so
to read?
it's been a little too
It's been a long time coming.
it's been a little too short between our last time we recorded. So make sure you guys write in stories to us. But I did have this girl who wrote into me on Instagram, and I will summarize basically what happened, and I would love to talk about it with you girls. So basically, she lives in one state, and this guy that she knew from undergrad in college was visiting, and she saw him on Bumble. They matched, they went on a date, they had a really good time, and then when he left, they like continued to stay in touch. And so they kept talking about like meeting up together, but there was never a plan made. And she seems like a take charge girly. So she's like, hey, how do I make this guy like, how do I make it known that I want to see this guy again without being pushy or controlling, which like as us women, like it's just so annoying that we even have to be like, oh, how do I like make something happen without being pushy or controlling? Do you think a man has ever thought that? No. So I was like, okay, let's talk about the details here. Like, when's the last time you brought it up? She said, okay, we were talking and I said, let's make a date to meet up. And then it was like at night. And so the conversation just naturally died and he didn't address it. And then in the morning, he picked it back up with good morning. So they're on that level of communication where he's sending good morning texts to her.
Could you will this travel require airfare? Like, do they have to fly? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's dates away. But he is like actively communicating with her. And she was like, look, it's a shit or get off the pot moment. He wanted to keep like this going, but he had a bunch of travel coming up. So he keeps using travel as an excuse. And I was like, okay, here's my advice. I think that the travel thing, if he wanted to, he would, is a very annoying internet phrase. Mm-hmm. However, I do believe if a guy wants to see you, the travel thing is an excuse. It's not like he would make it work. He'd be like, okay, I'm traveling this month, but let's like talk about June. Like, what dates do you have in June? May is full. So I wanted to like open it up to the sister discussion.
I mean, I think that you're spot on. I don't know. I think if this girl is feeling like it's a shit or get off the pot kind of situation, then it's kind of...
But how would you address it?
I think I would say, hey, maybe I would lie. Maybe this is the wrong thing, but I am planning a trip to go to the state you're from in June. Is there a time you'd be able to meet up? And then if he's like, okay, I guess like if it's a bachelorette party or whatever that she's going to, it's like, oh, bachelorette party was moved, but I'm still available this weekend. Surprise, I'm coming.
Okay.
We're so different. What I would do is, and I'm not saying this is right, this is me. I would say we've already had the conversation of, oh, we should do this again sometime. Yeah, we should. Let's figure something out. And then that's where everything's kind of fallen short, right?
Yeah.
And so I would say, because it seems like there's been kind of back and forth a few times, and it's like, I would say, hey, so do you think we're ever actually going to hang out? Because I want to, but if we're going to do it, like, let's get something planned. I would be very direct and say it probably almost word for word like that. Like, is this something you actually want to do? Because I do, but if we're going to do it, like, let's get something planned. Because what you said, it's not that, I agree. If he wanted to, he would. And it's not that he has to come see you every weekend, but it's like, oh, I can come in July. It's a month away, but like you have that plan set and you're looking forward to that date. And it makes all of the daily, like in between, like you have something to look forward to. And it's not just going nowhere. It's not just like going into the abyss.
Yes, but he kept using travel as an excuse, and so I didn't like that. So what I probably would have done in her position is just naturally pulled away and like kind of, I call it like being in the lawn chair, where you're just like, you're in the lawn chair, and if he wants you, he can come to you, but like you're chilling, and like you don't need to meet him anywhere because you've already met him there. He didn't like meet you where you were at, so you just go back to your happy place by the pool with a little cocktail mentally and just chill out. And I feel like that's where people really show you where they are, because like I know exactly the kind of state she's in. She's probably like giving just as much effort in text as he is, and she's probably a little bit more like, oh, okay, this is somebody that I would potentially move for, but he's a man, and I feel like men are like, oh, well, she doesn't live in my state.
But I also think that people tend to be a little like not as clear of like maybe a little too casual at first. It's like, oh, we should do this again sometime. Like totally. It's like, oh yeah, like yeah, we should probably like plan something. You know, it's like a little passive. For me, I'm down to be in the lawn chair after I know that I have explicitly said, I want to hang out with you again. I want to plan something. When are you free? I'm free these weekends of this month, these weekends of this month. When are you free? That's me doing everything within my power. So if I get ghosted, if things don't work out, or if they do, there's no situation where I'm going to second guess, like, I probably could have clarified this more, or like I probably could have made it known that I did want to see him and like I was interested, even though this is a long distance thing. But once I do that, once I make my thoughts and feelings explicitly clear, then I'm chilling and I'm waiting for that feedback.
Right.
And that depends. The next move completely depends on that.
Yeah. Well, so I told her that. I was like, I would be unemotional and just direct and be like, look, I like talking to you. Let's get a plan together to see each other. She did that, and then he just didn't respond. And I was like, that says everything about his character, because he's using you as his emotional support human.
Does he live in Colorado?
No, I was literally like, wait, what's his name?
Wait a second.
Yeah. But it sucks because I have totally been there before when you are being used for like emotional reasons.
Yeah.
Like I feel like guys do that a lot with girls, where they like having a feminine like counterpart, like a female interaction. And I think girls do that too, but I think also girls are more like, we are more nuanced. Like,
And girls have that with their girlfriends too,
yeah.
where they don't need as much from
I don't know. I've definitely like texted people that I don't have intention of actually dating long term, but I want attention from, I know that they're going to give me like the attention that I'm looking for in the moment. You know what I mean? And that's just as wrong. But and so I can only imagine if that is the vibe that he's giving off, and it's like, oh well, it makes it so much easier because she doesn't even live here, so it's like we're definitely not gonna like on his side of things, but that sucks. And that's why if like if I'm like, hey, what's up, like blah blah blah, but been a while, whatever, if they were like, look, I want to date you, like please don't talk to me unless you're gonna date me, then I'm like, fuck, okay, see ya, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that's where it's like you just kind of need to like put the mirror, I don't know, like just put it on them to be like, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. Nope, I'm not like mad at you about it, but it's just like this is what I'm hoping to get out of it.
Yeah.
People have said that to me, and I've been like, okay, well, see you never.
Sorry, Bailey.
And I'm a brat, and I'm sorry.
Sounds like her sister didn't get what she wanted out of it.
Well,
Wishing her well.
and that's okay, because one, proud of you for even putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And two, the next time. You'll get him next time.
Well, and I said this is a good learning opportunity to like, once someone shows you who they are, to like meet them there.
Believe them.
And then, believe them. And like, if you're not looking for that, then cutting them out. Because what my problem was is like, I would just like entertain it again and again and again. And then.
Once you saw who they were, you were like, oh, this is what they do. So this is how I could be.
I can change them.
This is how I could, or like volley with them. And this is it's just so us.
It's so us.
Yeah, and once
you buy a book on Southwest.
And if you've explicitly stated your feelings and thoughts and all of that kind of stuff, then you don't have to feel bad if they've shown you who you are and you don't like that person or whatever. You don't have to feel bad about not responding, because I feel like that's the other thing. Some people are like, okay, well, especially if there's not an argument, and if it's just like, well, this person's always going to be like the fuckboy that never wants to like hang out, but nothing, he didn't do anything like that bad. So when he reaches out, I guess I'm still going to respond, because you know what I mean? But you don't have to. And that's not rude. Like there's nothing.
Oh, no, it's empowering.
Yeah. Well, let it keep it. Well, I hope she lets you know. Keep us posted on if anything else happens.
Well, make sure to write in your stories, your advice, like whatever you want. Just like chat with us.
We love
at yourprodad@gmail.com. Bailey, do you want to?
Do you guys think I'm so good at it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You could also follow us on TikTok at Your Poor Dad Pod. You could follow us on Instagram, Your Poor Dad Pod. You could send us a DM. I prefer the emails because that's what I'm allowed to have access to.
You're allowed to have access to everything.
I know, but I like the emails because I'm from the olden days.
She likes being a martyr.
I love being a martyr, and I just love correspondence. So any way you want to correspond with us, you could also follow us on any of your like Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a review with your words along with the 5 stars.
Yeah.
And that's that.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.